Hello, and welcome to the Cryptocurrency News Channel. Today I'm going to talk about my buy-in points if I were to buy these coins, Tezos, Chainlink ICX KNC, where I would buy them. This is not financial advice. This is just my opinion on where I'm going to buy these and why I have those numbers in mind. Because, like when a coin pumps, I generally do wait for a retrace before I really dig myself in. And that's just like to save myself, from basically FOMOing in. So Tezos, I'm actually looking at around a price of 250. Now, if you actually look at XTZ, it was well below 250, quite just not too long ago, and it actually came up from under a dollar. If you look at here, it was 78 cents. It was 133. So there's been, Tezos has gained staking, which is a very, very good sign for, a higher price. And it's gained staking at like Coinbase. By the way, Coinbase takes 25%, so you should actually stake elsewhere. But the advent of staking and some of the STO stuff and news that's come out has made me pretty bullish on Tezos, but I would try to buy somewhere between like $2 and 250, maybe even towards the lower end of that, because I do think like you're kind of hitting a top with this hype, and I know that Tezos is not all hype, but it's not all substance either. So there's a really, really large amount of hype mixed in, and you can see from the volume graph too, it spiked twice at the double top, and it hasn't really gone on the second spike on the top. The volume hasn't gone above the first spike, so I do think Tezos is going to cool off a little bit in the next couple of months. Now there is the halving, so you might want to just trade in and out of Bitcoin and see if you can actually improve your Bitcoin ratios because of the halving. But I think Tezos, and compared to Bitcoin at least, will actually start to show some signs of weakness. In comparison to USD, you might actually need to wait until after the halving when Bitcoin starts dumping, then Tezos might start dumping. But if I had to say, like, if I wanted to go for an absolute like price, I would go between $2. I would go between 2 and 250. If you're trading Bitcoin, I would maybe wait until like I would say maybe like the 27,000 Satoshi range, or 27,000, 25,000 Satoshi range for buying into Tezos. And that's actually what I would be buying in at, like around 25,000 Satoshis, because I would actually just be buying in with Bitcoin. I would actually not be buying in with USD. But for USD, maybe like $2 to 250, and I might actually have to wait until after the halving to get that price. So the next one we go to is Chainlink. Chainlink's been a very hard one for me to gauge because it's been swinging between $2 to $4 for a long time. It also somewhat follows Bitcoin, but it has a lot of pumping power to it. And also like Chainlink, I think has a lot of utility right now. I don't know if those partnerships have actually been executed, but I know they have like partnerships with R3, DAG, and a ton of crypto partnerships. And their oracles are either being used or talked about being used by many, many organizations. So $4 I actually don't think is that high for it, but I would be trying to get around the $3 area, 250, $3 area. I think after the halving, if Bitcoin starts going down, I think Chainlink eventually will start to go down. Remember, Chainlink pumped up from less than a dollar last year. So even with all the news, it's actually pumped a lot. And because it swung between $2 to $4 for a long time, and it finally broke through the $4 roof, but it doesn't seem to be going much higher, so I actually can see it retrace to under $3. So maybe around $3 is where I would think about buying in. In terms of Bitcoin ratio, I would wait for it to fall 20, 30% before buying in as well. You might have to wait until after the halving again on this coin as well. And that's the same with a lot of these coins, maybe besides KNC, because like the halving will keep Bitcoin pumped up to a certain extent, and if Bitcoin continues to be pumped up, these might actually float as well. But Chainlink, I would get around the $3 area. ICX, ICX, I'm still targeting 25 cents. Some of you guys might think that's too low, but the thing is, it pumped up from about 12 cents, so I'm giving it 100% premium from where it actually started pumping up from. Now, Bitcoin is notably higher than when it actually started. It's about 1,000, 2,000 points higher. So ICX would be higher in itself, but I'm still giving it 100% premium. It was going down pretty fast until the last, like maybe like 3 days ago, where there was a sudden rush of volumes from somewhere. It wasn't Upbit this time, but a sudden rush of volume from somewhere, and that actually started spiking the prices again. I do expect that sudden rush of volume to go back down, and I do expect ICX to retrace, but not to 12 cents, to about 25 cents is my opinion, unless Bitcoin goes up even further. I would definitely look at Bitcoin ratio, and for ICX, I would definitely be looking at a ratio of maybe like 20-30% lower than right now. I would be looking at maybe like a 2,500 to 3,000 Satoshi value in terms of Bitcoin value to actually come into ICX as well. Because I think that's significantly higher than where it was before Upbit pumped it. And I think that's necessary because there's been a lot of Korean news and a lot of really good Korean news with Icon. But at the same time, I do believe that 100% premium over where it was is actually adequate, is an adequate premium, and like a 400% premium where it is right now is kind of overboard. That's just my opinion. The other thing is, the other one I want to talk about is KNC. Now, KNC recently pumped because of the Coinbase listing, but we do know that Coinbase listings do tend to actually go down. I still like Kyber network a lot in terms of like long-term investment, but if you really look at like what happens with Coinbase pumps, they usually pump some. The smaller the coin, the larger it pumps. So Kyber has actually pumped from around 38 cents to around 57 cents right now, probably around 60%. I would actually wait for it to go back to around 45, 42 cents before buying in, because you see like the volume right now, it's already decreasing. It might last for a little while, but I do think it'll go around back down to like 45, 42 cents. And that's where I would actually be looking for a buy-in for KNC, Kyber Network. Like I said, I do like it for the future, but generally Coinbase pumps don't last. However, there is a caveat to Kyber. I do believe they are going to get staking on Coinbase soon, and that might pump it up even more. So, I mean, right now it wouldn't be too bad to buy in, but I honestly would wait until it actually retraces by about 20% or so before I really think about buying into Kyber Network. Still very good for the future, even if you buy now, but I would wait for like a 20% retrace. I want to talk about IOTA. I know there's some news like this one right here. Despite the network outage, IOTA investors continue to hold. I think that's a bit misleading. Remember, the IOTA network has been down for a week and a half. So for 10 days, people can't actually move their coins to the exchange to actually sell. So I think that has a big part to do with it. So they're holding right now because they don't have any choice. When you can't sell it, you have to hold it. I think as soon as the mainnet opens, we will experience somewhat of a dump. Many people on my stream have said they're going to sell the IOTA once the mainnet actually opens. So I do expect a fairly good dump for IOTA. I know some people in my stream are saying like, oh, if it dumps to 10 cents or 5 cents, I'm going to buy in. I don't think it actually will dump that low, but who knows? I don't think it'll dump that low, but I think there will be a significant pump. I do know that IOTA dumped to 17 cents before, and I would kind of be looking around there to see if you really want to buy into IOTA. I'm going to hold off for right now because when a mainnet goes offline for like so long, I don't think it's going to be up until like March 2nd or something, or at least by that point. When you go offline for almost 3 weeks, I definitely have my doubts. And so I would definitely wait like maybe a week before the price stabilizes and maybe look to buy in then if the team hasn't fled. Now, I think the legal action against one of the co-founders by another co-founder, that's just a lot of like bad press, and that's a lot of like drama, but that's not actually against the foundation. So that to me doesn't have too much effect on it. But the current network shutdown definitely does, and I think that's going to seriously hurt IOTA. I do believe it will actually dump. So that's why IOTA is not dumping, because people really can't dump it. So watch out for a dump once the network actually opens. So that's the news for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe, and hit that bell notifications button. Thank you, and have a nice day.